Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm encouraged to see critical investments throughout VA's budget to meet the health and economic needs of our veterans, needs that have grown considerably over the past year and will persist long after the COVID-19 pandemic has ended. Research from the Commonwealth Fund predicts that mental health fallout from the pandemic will likely last for years and potentially even generations. And that's why the $1.5 billion increase for veterans' mental health services in VA's budget is so important. This funding also includes a 92% increase in funding for suicide prevention programs, another critical priority given that demand for the Veterans Crisis Line increased by 59% over the past year. Mr. Secretary, looking at the requested $1.5 billion increase in mental health funding broadly and the $287 million increase for suicide prevention specifically, can you provide more details on the specific programs or initiatives where this funding will be focused?
Yeah, thanks very much. I agree with everything that you said. I do think that we have seen we've seen a massive increase in demand for video and telehealth, including increase in demand for mental health services in both telehealth and video health. As I said earlier, we're seeing about a 30% increase of among all VHA users, so that in our health administration for mental health services. That's more than, as I said earlier, 1.5 million veterans having received mental health services over the period of FY20, which was just half pandemic, obviously. So among the programs that we anticipate continuing our increased hiring of mental health professionals, we hired a net increase of 880 healthcare providers in FY20. This is in a mental health community in the country broadly that is way over demand and way under supply.
That's right.
So this is a major challenge for us that we're going to continue to invest in. And importantly, we're also investing in new opportunities that you all have given us, including as several members have already indicated, in new grant making to local providers for mental health services. So that's the biggest, one of the biggest innovations in this year's budget is making sure that we're funding the authorized programs that you all enacted late last year for local providers of mental health care services.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Another requested funding increase in VA's budget is for readjustment benefits, which include vocational programs that help veterans secure and retain quality jobs that pay good wages. These programs are especially timely right now. According to the most recent data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the job openings level in the U.S. is at 8.1 million, the highest since the job opening series began in December 2000. One cause of the high level of openings, even with elevated unemployment rates, is the skill gap between the needs of employers and the background and training of individuals in the labor force. Mr. Secretary, how will the funding that VA has requested for vocational programs help prepare veterans for a rapidly evolving workforce and ensure that they're prepared to succeed in the jobs of today and tomorrow?
Thank you. I am very proud of our programming through VBA and through the Education Services team. Included in there is our voc rehab training effort, as well as additional programming that Mr. Cawthorn had asked about earlier, including innovative new low carbon training options, which leads to important long-term high growth, high wage growth opportunities for our vets. And then, of course, as I said earlier in response to the question, the VRAP program, which you all authorized in the American Recovery Plan, dedicates nearly $400 million for high demand jobs as identified by the Department of Labor, including incentivizing new providers to enter there by saying you'll get full payment for your participation in the program once a vet is employed. So it's not enough to train, but it requires the vet to be trained and then a job to be given. And so this kind of, and by the way, we're seeing continued subscription by trainers in the programming, including in vocational programming, because of the opportunity that this provides. They're not pushed away by the higher accountability standards that come with the program that you all have.
Right. Well, Mr. Secretary, we are certainly looking forward to developing further opportunities to create good jobs through the American Jobs Plan and the infrastructure and recovery legislation that is coming in the the next several months as we build that better. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.